Good afternoon, everyone. We're about to get started with our recognitions for this evening. For those of you that are new to recognitions, I just want to give you a little instructions on how this will work. I will be calling out your name, your team's name, if you're being recognized as a team, and you will get up and walk this way. Our board members will be standing in front of the table, so you'll shake their hands as well as our superintendent. And once you're done doing that, please stay there so that so we can take a picture of you. And then after that, you will walk out this way. And then after recognitions are done, you're welcome to leave. All right, thank you. All right, we're going to start with our recognitions for this evening. If I can have everybody's attention. Our first student getting recognized this evening is Joe Sanchez from STEM Early College High School. He is the Valero Bowl Student Athlete Scholarship. And he got a $7,500 scholarship. He participates in track, cross country, and soccer at Harlandale High School, and he's top 10%. He will also earn an associate's degree of science in May 2024. Our next student getting recognized is Colleen Tovar from Adams Elementary. Her art will be displayed at the Bullock Texas State History Museum in Austin during the month of March. She won the Youth Art Month Spring Exhibition. Okay, for this next recognition, I'm going to be calling up by groups. I know we have a few students that are all in the same group, so if you just want to stay there as I call your name. These are our McCollum High School choir recognitions, and we'll give all the certificate to the teacher, and that way she can pass them out. But first division rating in UIL solo and ensemble is Aaron Maldonado, Marcela Flores, Christopher Garza, Juan Angel Perez, and Mario Herrera. Go ahead, I'll give it to you afterwards, yeah. And then Texas Music Educators Association Area Qualification, Aaron Maldonado and Juan Angel Perez. TMEA All Region Choir members, Aaron Maldonado, Juan Angel Perez, Miguel Casillas, and Mario Herrera. And also the 2024 High School Honors Performance Series finalists, we have Alejandra Alvarez and Juan Perez, also from McCollum High School. We have our All Use Outstanding Future Teacher of 2024. Student from Ms. Roens Perez Practicum in Education and Training Program was selected to receive the Outstanding Future Teacher of 2024 award from Our Lady of the Lake University, Samantha de la Rosa, 12th grade from McCollum High School. We also have the state level visual arts scholastic event. We have students Antonio Ruiz, Selene Pedrosa, Audrey Escareno, and Gabriel Ramos, and those are their artworks. In this year's 2024 Youth of the Year for the Boys and Girls Club was one of our students, Mariah Fernandez from STEM Early College High School. And the Better Bites art winner is from Adams Elementary, 4th grade, Miss Mia Ortega. And that is her artwork right there on the screen. She won first place out of 430 entries from kinder to 6th grade. And this year we have two teams for the co-district champions. I'm gonna have the McCollum High School girls basketball team come up first. And also the co-district champions, the Harlem High School girls basketball team. And that concludes our recognitions for this evening. Thank you, everybody, and congratulations to our students.
Miss Hustle, happy birthday.
You brought your basketball team? All right.
Knight. A knight's true strength lies in weaving integrity, excellence, innovation, and service into the very fabric of chivalry. Thank you.
All right, welcome everybody. And again, thank you to Ms. Gimbo and her student council sponsor and the team. It's great to see the whole group here. So thank you guys. So we're going to go ahead and regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of Harlandale ISD will be held Tuesday, February 20th, 2024, beginning at 6:15. It is now 6:19 here at Kingsborough Middle School. We're going to go ahead and call for roll call. We do have our clickers here if we're ready to go ahead and call for the vote on that. All right, we can go ahead and close the vote. Right, so we do declare a quorum present. We also have with us our conservator, Dr. Castleberry. Welcome, Dr. Castleberry. Yes, ma'am. Moving on to item C, 2C, recording the superintendent and staff members present. Mr. Soto, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Board of Trustees, HISD Community, this evening, we have our Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance, Mr. David Flores.
Here.
We have our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction, Ms. Casey.
Here.
We have our Executive Director of Human Resources, Dr. Salinas.
Here.
We have our Public Information Officer, Mariana Vieira.
Here.
All right, welcome, everyone. Thank you. So moving on to item 3, and Ms. Juarez, you did notify me that there is no one signed up for public comment. Okay, perfect. So we're going to move on to item 4, announcements. Ms. Mariana?
Mr. Chair, Board of Trustees,
Yes, Mr. Soto,
Oh.
sorry.
one announcement that we would like to share with the community and the Board of Trustees is this morning, our athletic director and myself went to in front of UIL to appeal the decision of the district that our football team was placed in. We did argue the facts of travel, loss of instructional time because of travel, shortage of bus drivers, having to expend monies on charter buses. It was a close vote. We did ask, for a rationale behind it. UIL's rationale was that their biggest thing is how to balance the districts. Us being in a 17 district with Harlandale and McCollum, if we would have left that district, would have left that district in 5 with 5 teams. We did ask if there was other 5-team districts anywhere in the state of Texas, and there was. But that was their argument, and they stood by it. We want to thank UIL for listening to our appeal, and we want to thank the superintendents that formed the committee listening to our appeal, but it was denied 4-3.
Thank you for sharing that insight, sir. Ms. Ortiz, did you want to share something?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Soto, I would like to publicly thank you and our athletic director, Roseanne Martinez, for going the extra mile for our children, for the UIL to deny this appeal. I do not believe that they took into consideration our students, and that should be the forefront of consideration, is all about students. And I want to thank you and Ms. Martinez for going the extra mile and making that appeal. Regrettably, we were not successful, but we tried. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Continuing on to Ms. Mariana.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. In front of you, you will have the ADA for the third 6 weeks and the semester. I wanted for you to have a hard copy as well. So if you have any questions on it, or if you need me to read any of the numbers, please let me know.
All right, guys, any comments, clarifications, or anything needed?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Soto.
I want to commend the principals. I know it's not an easy task, and this is a nationwide pandemic with absenteeism, but I want to commend the principals with their creativity, innovation, and trying to get our students here. I've seen every type of incentive possible to get our students here, especially for those Mondays and Fridays where it's mostly missed. Our children are mostly missing. So kudos to you, principals.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Mr. Mancha.
also would like to extend a thanks to DPERC for putting together a calendar where we're able to take advantage of those extra holidays, which are not really holidays. It would have been a lot of kids absent, a lot of the staff absence. So, we need to extend the thanks to them for putting a calendar together that works for everybody.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Mariana, would you like to continue, please?
Yes, sir. We have our Harlem Health Fest tomorrow at Memorial Stadium. This is the first time we're doing an event this big. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. at Memorial Stadium. We have a bunch of different vendors just offering services related to health and wellness. We will have fitness classes going on the stadium, a fun run walk, and we do have a special appearance by the San Antonio Spurs. So we hope that everybody can come out and join us. Important dates, the Harlem Health Fest again tomorrow. We do have School Bus Driver Appreciation Day on February 23rd. Read Across America on March 2nd. Maintenance Worker Appreciation Day is March 4th. And we also have our District Family Night at Makerspace at 5 p.m. on March 7th. And at this time, I would like to invite Ms. Erica Castro. She will be speaking on the teacher incentive allotment.
Hi, good evening, everyone. As Mariana mentioned, I'm Erica Castro. I'm the TIA T-Test coordinator for the district. Before I move forward with the information I'm going to share with you, I did want to refresh everyone's memory on what TIA is. TIA is a program that was brought on by the state of Texas as an effort to retain and recruit teachers. Districts do have the option to opt into the program, so not all districts are participating. There are a few within Bexar County that are, including ourselves. A district who does participate in this program, what that allows them to do is the opportunity to identify and designate high-performing teachers based off of student growth ratings and T-test averages. The good news that I have to share with everybody, and I'm very excited about this, is that the 138 teachers that we put forth for a designation to TIA have all been formally approved by TIA. And so what that means for us as a district, for campuses and teachers are, if you look on the graphic on the left-hand side, there are 3 designations that a teacher can aim towards. The one on the left is recognized, the middle is exemplary, and the highest level is master's. You'll notice underneath each of those designations, there is a dollar range. So based on the designation, a teacher can earn that particular dollar amount within that range. And I apologize that the graphic is a little small. Now, the dollar amount or the allotment amount is based on a given campus. So not all allotment amounts are exactly the same for a given campus throughout a given district. We won't know what those allotment numbers are until April is when the state will release those particular amounts, those specific amounts. But these are the ranges that it'll fall between. You'll see here the breakdown under elementary, the total of designations for each elementary campus, and there was a total of 80 at the elementary level. Secondary, again, the breakdown of all the secondary campuses, there was a total of 58. Total, again, was 138 teachers. Our spending plan for these particular designations is that 80% of the allotment funds will go directly towards the designated teachers to each of those 138 teachers. 10% of that amount will go towards qualifying teachers on those designated campuses, and then the district will be able to retain 10% to help support our TIA system here at Harlandale. So here is what our eligibility here at Harlandale was in order for these teachers to meet the designation criteria. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the state criteria, which is the T-test averages for domains 2 and 3 and student growth data. Our additional local criteria here at Harlandale was we included T-test domain averages for domain 4, and we also included student surveys for 3rd through 12th grade students. On the right-hand side, you'll see all of the eligible teaching assignments. So any teacher who taught pre-K through 12th grade English language arts, pre-K through 12th grade math, science, fifth grade and secondary level, social studies at the secondary level, and CTE high school, they were all eligible, and their data is what was submitted this past school year. In the bottom, what I have highlighted there in closing is the what our next steps are in the timeline. So again, in April, right around the corner, TEA will release these allotment amounts that will be awarded to each teacher. April and May, the last state contingent is that we, as a district, need to confirm the year of service for each of these teachers, as well as confirming that they're still in a current teaching role, because that's part of the premise of TIA, is to keep teachers in the classroom. And teachers can expect to receive these allotments in their July paycheck. Questions for me?
Any comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this piece?
Mr. Chair, may I?
Yes, Ms. Cavazos?
Hi, Ms. Castro. Thank you for the presentation. I do have a quick question. Do we know what the criteria is that the state looks for to determine the amount of the allotment per the campus?
So they're looking at the student demographics of that given campus. Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, any other comments, concerns, Mr. Luna?
Yeah, just who's the definition of qualifying teachers?
So those are the teachers based on their eligible teaching assignments. They're the ones who are eligible to participate in trying forth a designation. Once the state, once a certain teacher makes the certain criteria for the state and the local, then we put forth a projected designation for them.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Ortiz.
I'd like to find out, so do they have to have a minimum number of years teaching or in the classroom?
No, so technically a first-year teacher, if they meet the qualifications for the state criteria as well as local criteria, they technically can earn a designation.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Yes, Ms. Salazar.
Ms. Castro, how can we continue to support our teachers in order for them to continue to get those designations in the upcoming years?
Sure, so continuing with professional development, specifically in the areas of domains 2 and 3, which will impact, of course, their student growth data. When it comes to the local criteria, the T-Test domain 4 is, encouraging their leadership capabilities on campuses. And of course, with the Panorama Student Survey area, professional development in terms of their student engagement.
Any other comments, concerns, clarification? If I may, Ms. Castro, based on domain 2 and 3, just to kind of enlighten this, based on the delivery of instruction and also with classroom climate, how does that benefit our students when it comes to growth data? Are you able just to give a quick synopsis?
Sure. So that goes hand in hand. So depending on how effective a teacher is in domains 2 and 3, which is the classroom environment and instruction, that is going to have an immediate impact on student growth. So the higher the ratings in domains 2 and 3, we should see those effects in student growth.
And then just to, I guess, follow up based off the information provided, when it comes to local criteria with domain 4, that's usually related to things like duties, other assignments. How does that benefit the climate and the instruction of our students?
Absolutely. So, domain 4 specifically looking at how is a teacher going above and beyond, right? How are they going above and beyond at their campus? And so that in effect should have an effect on students as well.
Well, thank you for sharing that intel and that insight. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed?
Mr. Chair, I have one more
Yes, Ms.
question,
Salazar.
Ms. Castro. So I know that we survey our students. How do we determine the engagement and the fidelity of that survey?
So the survey is given twice a given school year, once in the fall and once in the spring. And each student is randomly assigned to survey 2 of their teachers that teacher is rostered for. So between the fall and the spring survey, the fall one does not count. It's more for feedback purposes and practice purposes. And then it's the spring survey that counts towards the teacher's TIA criteria.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed? Mr. Soto, I don't know if you'd like to maybe expand on how momentous of a actual the confirmation of these allotments are.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I want to commend Ms. Castro, HR and CNI. It was a collective team effort to actually get this approved. And as we know, every year we got to be certified. It's just not a 1 year and then we're good for the next 5 years. So we're at this again. But hopefully this helps us with recruitment and retention of our teachers. As you can see, some teachers can get close to $100,000 being in the classroom, and that's what we want. We want our educators, the best educators, to stay in the classroom. Usually, what happens is some of our best educators end up becoming principals, right, and academic deans, and so because it is a pay raise. So hopefully, this keeps our better people in the classrooms.
Well, thank you for that. Any others, comments, concerns, or clarification needed? All right, well, thank you for providing that information, and Ms. Castro, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
And we will provide this presentation to Ms. Patty so that you can have a copy of it as well. That concludes our announcements.
All right, so moving on to information and reports, 5A, student outcomes, GPM 2.1. Percentage of pre-K students meeting or exceeding knowledge of the alphabet will increase from 75% to 80% by 2024. Mr. Soto, I guess I direct that to Ms. Casey or Mr. Littlefield. All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Littlefield.
Thank you.
I think you got a couple of pieces that you'll be sharing with us, correct? And I'll just go ahead and read them while they're doing that. Also, GPM 2.4, percentage of pre-K students meeting or exceeding phonological awareness will increase from 72% to 76% by 2024. GPM 3.3, percentage of pre-K students meeting or mastering spatial relationships and shapes will increase from 76% to 81% by 2024. So whenever you're ready, Mr. Littlefield.
But you're doing great, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Michael Littlefield. I am Director for Curriculum and Instruction. The GPMs have already been read off to you, and those are within the presentation if you want to refer back to them. Using the GOLD assessment, the end of year target is at 80%. And so we've done our first round of testing, and the percentage of pre-K students identified and identifying and naming letters and letter sound correspondence averages out to about 74.5. So we are on track to be able to meet this goal by the end of the year. Within mathematics, the target being 81%, we can see that there's still some work to be done. Understanding spatial reasoning and understanding shapes is still in the 51% range. And so clearly there's going to be some additional efforts put forth in that one. The question often comes up about how many pre-K students we actually do have. As a district, we have 815 total divided between pre-K 3 and pre-K 4. It's listed up here for each of the campuses, and this includes those students that are enrolled in the HISD as well as the Avance Pre-K program. And speaking of these programs, we are currently in the sign-up stage. We have finished the first round at the 3 campuses at Stonewall, Flanders, Adams, and Bel Air. Those have already been completed. Now we take a slight pause, mainly because we have a whole ton of folders sitting around that need to be processed. And we'll start up again with the remaining campuses, Collier coming up on February the 28th, and then each of the following campuses on those respective days. Do you have any questions?
Any comments, concerns, or clarification needed, guys? Ms. Salazar?
Yes, Mr. Littlefield, in identifying these strands, how has vertical alignment been implemented, and what strategies have we implemented so that the students so that we can see an increase in these strands? How has vertical alignment or what professional development has been put in place so that we can see an increase in these strands?
Which is an excellent question. One that we will definitely pose to our pre-K mentor, and we can be able to get that response to you.
All right. Ms. Ortiz?
Yes, sir. So on the slide that you were talking about math, you said that we have a significant amount of ground we need to reach in order to get even close to the 81%. But you didn't go into specifics. How are we going to do that? Because that's like 30% more that we would to come even close to that. What are we doing to help our students gain that ground?
So what we've done, and this kind of addresses both questions, our pre-K mentor is not here. She's the one that can answer the more specific questions, but we are partnering with Pre-K for SA, and we have pulled our pre-K teachers to do training. So part of that is when you're looking at a pre-K classroom, doing age-appropriate materials, have them engage in play that actually explores the areas of math, spatial relationships for young students. We also incorporate our technology programs for students, and then we monitor and assess. So much of our kids are exposure. When you look at some of our kids coming to pre-K, it's our first time in school and first time learning anything academic. Specific strategies, I will tell you, I will write the questions down and we'll get that from our individual who's not here. But that is basically overall, we try to focus on professional development, coaching, and then support for teachers as they need it.
So, Mr. Chair, one more question. Mr. Littlefield, if we could address this to our pre-K mentor. How are we communicating attendance for our pre-K students? Because I know that has been a challenge in previous years.
So I think that's more of a teacher administration question, not necessarily our mentor. And that's always been an area of focus. One of the things we have done is we do tease out our pre-K attendance versus our other students. It's not always the case that pre-K is lower. Many times it mirrors the same kind of trends, whether they're up or down Mondays and Fridays. And so principals have done the same thing with pre-K. A lot of parent communication in dealing with the VANSE. We work with the VANSE to work with their parents on the importance of coming to school. And it's important for us to start those habits early. So I think just like you heard Mr. Soto say earlier, a lot of incentivizing, because when you're talking about a pre-K student coming to school, it's not the pre-K student choosing to come or not to come. It's really us getting parents to bring their students in to come to school. And so that's primarily been the focus, educating the parents, communicating with them to get them here at school.
All right. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed? Yes, Mr. Luna.
Yes, when I was working for the district, I know the GPM, well, when we used to test, it was for math, it was mostly on counting. What's the rationale changing to the spatial relationships for this GPM now?
So when we had our board goals, as a board, we had the board goals. I don't know if you remember, we were always exceeding the goals, just like the very first goal of identifying letters and sounds. Our students do very well with those types of things. It's the more conceptual learning that they have issues with. So as a board, because we were exceeding the goal, then it was like, let's change the rigor of the goal. So that's how we got to this goal. We know it's a more challenging goal. It's more rigorous. And so the expectation is we have to work to improve that. But that was a direction from the board. And when we readopted these goals in December, these were the updated goals.
Yeah, because I understand that, Mr. Soto, I know that this is a harder skill for their little kiddos to achieve than just counting. I had 10 years experience more or less. So I kind of understand what's going on there, but it's, but anyway, that's a good reason why we're going to challenge ourselves. But that, like my other trustee said, what strategies are we doing? What are we doing to accomplish this? And also I know there's a struggle with attendance as well. So I know attendance also affects our scores. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed? If I may, yes, Mr. Littlefield or Ms. Casey, based on the information that you provided to us, then why is it so important for us to have high expectations or have the level of rigor where it is, especially with this level? Why is that so important for us?
So we have a lot of data from a lot of years, and we can actually identify success or failure of a student in secondary going back as far as pre-kinder and kinder. And so laying the foundation correctly and making sure that we're building upon it year after year is really the key to success in the upper grades.
Thank you, sir, for sharing that. Ms. Cavazos, do you have something you want to share?
Yes, Mr. Littlefield, you just said something. You have a lot of data going back. However, the pandemic was lurking around for what, at least 2 years? Do we take that into consideration?
So what we're seeing right now is reading, the overall reading levels of our students are approaching where they were pre-pandemic. It's in the mathematics realm where we're still struggling to make up the ground. So when we look at it, yes, we do see a sizable dip for a couple of years. But what we're looking at right now is the rate of increase getting back to where we were.
And then if I may, Mr. Chair, just another quick question, Mr. Littlefield. Isn't it true that math is always a little behind than the reading as far as our students achieving those goals?
For the district, yes, that has been, you could say that for our historical data, yes.
All right, Mr. Mancha, do you want to?
Sure.
Yes, sir.
I know one of the concerns is not getting parents to get involved. Are we still pushing for our 3K and pre-K to be going to Stonewall Flanders instead of keeping closer to the campus? I think if we were to allow most of the kids to go to their campus, it helps the parents be able to participate more and be involved more than us pushing them to go to Stonewall Flanders, where it's a bigger population. Because I know one of the concerns that a lot of my grandnephews are going through is they're being sent to Stonewall Flanders and they're being told that their campuses, there's no room for you.
So, Mr. Mancho, first, we always try to place the student as close to home as possible. That's always a priority. However, we do have some campuses, for example, Adams is Avance only. So we have to take that. We have a few things we have to consider, whether they're Avance only, whether a class is bilingual, and whether it's monolingual. And so we we place first by priority, but after that, it's really first come, first serve. We already had about 140 kids register. We haven't yet placed them in classes because we're qualifying them. Once we qualify them, we will start with their home campus. As campuses fill up, because we do have some campuses that fill up, we often give parents the option and we'll tell them, well, we have these schools available. We have a slot at Gilbert and we have a slot at Gillette. And then we give parents the option for that purpose. We do want to make it convenient for them. However, we don't have unlimited slots at every campus that's their home campus. And so to say we could direct them to Stonewall Flanders, not necessarily, but Avance does have several of their classes there. We actually have more Avance classes at Adams than we do at Stonewall Flanders.
Thank you, Ms. Casey. So what are we doing for those parents that are having to go to Stonewall Flanders to be able to have them participate in their child's education? Are we providing any kind of transportation? Because I know we take the minority. So by participating in that, is there any way that we can find a way, or maybe having a class at one of the near campus?
So one of the things, those students would be Avance students. Avance has a complete parenting program that they house. They actually do provide transportation. I don't know if it is to parents, that's more of their programming. Harlandale itself does not provide transportation for parents to that campus. But Avance, one of their biggest components of their programming is their parent component. So all of the students that you're referring to would be Avance students, and their parents would have access to this parenting component.
So I guess my last comment would be, are we providing that to the parents, giving them knowledge to know that they will provide transportation to them?
Yes, I'm going to say yes, but I will follow up with Avance and get that question. I can actually get them to share with me like the menu of services they provide to parents, and then we'll send that to UNHH.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed on this piece? I guess the last piece, or lastly, what we can ask is, based off all the information provided by our team, how can we as a board continue to support the success of our students within the pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 program? Mr. Littlefield or Ms. Casey, please.
Yeah, the major part is the obstacles that, or the challenges that you all have presented. You know, constant encouragement for attendance. You know, it's difficult for us to work with children that aren't there. And so, you know, the more that you can get the message out of, you know, I know it's rainy and I know it's, you know, a Tuesday and you just don't feel like getting out of bed, but the child wants to be there. And so, you know, all we need is the parent to, you know, pick up the child and put them in the car and off we go.
Thank you for sharing that. Dr. Castaway, would you like that?
Well, it's actually for the board. I just wanted to say I've heard several strategic questions and I commend you for working to use those questions in the interaction.
Thank you, ma'am, for that feedback. Any other comments, concerns, clarification? Then we'll go ahead and proceed to the next item. Thank you, ma'am. So next is B, Mr. Soto, the board will be presented the school safety audit for January 2024 and the submission of the Texas School Safety Center's district audit report tool information. Is that-
Chief Hernandez?
Okay. Oh, I just realized.
Good evening. Just an update on the TA audits. I'm gonna go through January's because we haven't talked January. Belair, Wright, and Hack. Congratulations, no findings. So they came back in February. So I'm gonna give February Gillette and Frank Tejeda. No findings. I don't want to say this one, but we did have a finding in one of the campuses, and we're gonna talk about that in closed session. We have 15 so far. 14 of them have no findings. So we're at 93% as a district. Any questions?
Any comments, concerns, clarification needed on this piece?
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
not a clarification, just a reminder to the community, we get no heads up when they're going to come and audit the safety of our campuses. Is that correct, Chief?
That's correct. They'll call us and they'll let us know they're coming.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed? Yes, Mr. Luna?
Yes, I noticed that there's some more additional security things going on at the campuses, correct? Like it's Bentley, there's gonna be another double door. They're installing some more doors in the campuses. Is that correct?
That
For
is
security?
correct. We got fencing coming. We still need some fencing for some of the campuses, so we're working on that. Yes, sir.
All right, thanks.
All right. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed for Chief? All right, appreciate it, Chief. I know you guys are working hard and I know it was a SRO day recently, so thank you guys.
Oh, yes, sir.
right.
Just, you know, safety is our main priority. We're here for the safety of the campuses, the schools, of course, the children. So I just want to commend our principals, our staff, our students, and then our officers. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys, everyone. Appreciate you guys. So moving on to item 6, would anyone like to make a motion for items 6A through 6E?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Cavazos.
I move to approve agenda item 6A through E.
All right, we have a motion to approve items 6A through E. Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Ortiz? You already had seconded.
I second.
Second by Ms. Ortiz. Any comments, concerns, or clarification before we go for the vote? I will say this, the last time I know Mr. Soto mentioned that we are gonna have to ask Ms. Myrna or Ms. Martinez more questions because she gets out pretty easy. So we'll make sure to let her know that the next time. So we'll go ahead and call for the vote on this piece. All right, we can go ahead and close the vote on this piece. All right, motion carries. Moving on to item 7, individual items. Item A, to approve a resolution nominating a candidate to fill a vacancy for an unexpired term to serve on the Bear Appraisal District Board of Directors through December 31st, 2024. Actually, we'll make a motion. I'd like to nominate Mr. Louis Luna as a candidate for the unexpired term to serve on the Bear Appraisal District Board of Directors through December 31st, 2024. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, a second by Ms. Reese. Mr. Luna, will you accept before we go ahead and,
Yes, Mr. Chair, I do accept.
okay, we'll go ahead and any comments, concerns, or clarification needed before, or anything you'd like to share, sir?
No, I just look forward to looking to see how the Bear Appraisal District works and using my experience and skills to try and improve what's going on, especially for the benefit of our constituents and our property owners here in the district. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Ms. Galasso, do you want to share something before?
No.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and call for the vote on this piece.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Yes, Ms. Ortiz.
It's to fill the unexpired term to serve on the Bear Appraisal District Board of Directors. Do we know whose seat he's being nominated to fill?
Yeah, there was a gentleman, what was his name? Mr. Salas, yeah.
From what agency?
Leo Salas is from the Somerset ISD community, and he wasn't able to fulfill his term. Yep.
So we'll go ahead and call for the vote on this piece. It's just a nomination for a candidate. All right, so go ahead, voting is open. All right, we can go ahead and close this. Congratulations, Mr. Luna, you are a nominee, so best of luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right, moving on to item B, consider and take appropriate action to approve a resolution to increase the district health insurance contribution per employee to $410 per month for an estimated cost to the general fund for the 2024 calendar year of $663,840. This increase will not result in a reduction to current employee premiums or employee contributions. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that the Harlandale Independent School District Board of Trustees take appropriate action to approve a resolution to increase the district's health insurance contribution per employee to $410 per month from estimated cost to the general fund for the 2024 calendar year of $840,000. This increase will not result in a reduction to current employee premiums or employee contributions.
Okay, great. Do we have a second for the motion?
Mr. Chair, I second that motion.
All right, second by Ms. Reese. Any comments or concerns or clarification needed before we go ahead and call for the vote?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if you don't mind.
Yes, Ms. Gabal.
I just want to thank Mr. Soto and all of the staff that works diligently in trying to do what is best for not only teacher retention, but for staff retention. I know health insurance is always such a headache to have to deal with as an individual. I cannot imagine the hours and the work you all put in to try to bring the best that we can to our entire Harlandale family when it comes to its employees. So thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Any other comments, concerns, or clarification needed prior to the vote? All right, we'll go ahead and call for the vote on this piece. All right, we'll go ahead and close the vote. All right, motion carries. Thank you, sir, again, as was echoed by our colleagues for doing our part to keep our staff in with their health and wellness key. Moving on to item A, convening closed session as authorized by Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, Sections 551.071 through 551.84. Do we have a motion for items 8A and 8B for closed session?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Luna.
Yes, I move to convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapters 551, Sections 551.07071 through 551.084, or to discuss items 8A and 8B.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Luna. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, a second by Ms. Cavazos. We'll go ahead and just call for the vote on this piece. All right, voting is open. No, I don't believe anyone had it. All right, we can go ahead and close. All right, the motion passes. It is now, let me make sure, because sometimes the time's off. 6:58, and we are in closed session. Thank you. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back. It is now 7:29. We are in open session, and I believe items 8A and 8B do not need any type of action, correct, Mr. Resendez? All right, and prior to us going to motioning to adjourn, I know Mr. Soto did share some very unfortunate news about one of our family members here at Harlandale ISD, Miss Geneva Zamora from Collier passed away. So we can just have a moment of silence for our beloved colleague here. So if you'd like to join me. Thank you, everyone, for that moment of silence. Moving on, would we like to make a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Ortiz?
I move that we adjourn.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
Mr. Chair, I second.
All right, second by Ms. Reese. Obviously, no discussion needed. We can go ahead and call for the vote. All right, we can go close the vote. All right, it is 7:31 and we are now